February 18th, 3 days after my birthday. Oh, I can't say that. Okay. We're gonna try.
You should bleep that.
Less fucking. Okay. Yeah.
Or
So,
bing.
so February 18th, Wimberley, Texas, just south of Austin, and snowpocalypse.
Snowpocalypse.
I mean, how do you describe it?
Snowpocalypse.
It's not just, was it snowy? You know, for the record, we've lived in the Midwest. It's not like we're new to snow, or driving in the snow, or living in the snow. I'd probably say what we are new to is
Snow in the South.
snow in the South. Snow, living in an RV while we build.
Living in an RV during snowpocalypse.
Without power.
Without power.
Without power and no water. The well froze up a week ago. Yeah. So we're new to that. You know, we're better off than a lot of folks, so we're very thankful for what we have going on. But
because of living in the RV, we already had generators. We were prepared for that. We were prepared for no power. It sucks because we have less power with the generators, but we still have power.
Right. So look, it counts.
It does.
You know, we've had water. We've been able to take a lot of showers. Again, the well is present, so we can't just go right back and fill it back up. But we've had some water. We've had a place to use the restroom. We've had heat. So I guess, you know, we really can't complain too much.
No.
But let's rewind the clock a little bit. Let's go back a little bit. So today is Thursday. Mm-hmm. So let's go back to Friday when it first got cold. I had a feeling that power outages were coming, so we brought the generators up. And, you know, we were ready. Of course, we stay ready with meals and such, regardless if it's a freeze or, you know, whatever. We keep food around to keep us prepared. But we had a freeze Friday night. We left Saturday. We've got, you know, 4 kids in a camper, so we wanted to get rolling, and we just wanted to get out of the camper. So we took a leisurely stroll, about an hour away to this little diner that we like.
I mean, I think I got above freezing that day.
It did.
It wasn't a big deal.
No, it did. It did for a little while, right? And that's the problem. The night before, I'm normally an operational kind of guy. Well, I had disconnected the freshwater supply line to the camper, right in the plumbing area. But I left the hose, right, that supply line, I left it suspended in the plumbing area. It's burning me!
It got...
So I had left the hose in the plumbing area. I wanted it thawed because, I didn't think it'd be cold enough, and, you know, we could reconnect it to get some more water out of it. Well, I turned off the spigot on the supply line until it was tight. I mean, I've done this a million times. We've had an RV for years and years. We came back, and how would you describe it? Pulling up and seeing what was on the ground.
Oh, the lake on either side of the driveway. Just a lot of water where water shouldn't be. So it was very obvious that there was a mishap.
So we looked to see what was going on. Obviously, first, we check inside the camper just to make sure it's not a pure insurance claim, right? If it's coming from inside, it's over. And so, no, it's dry. So we look under the camper, and there's a little bit of an underbelly, and I'll try to show a picture of this. But the underbelly is totally broken off from the weight of the water, and it is just spewing. So what we see is the plumbing area had filled with water enough that it traversed the little pull tabs that are in there for the different gates, and it basically had gotten into the underbelly, and that was actually good news. And as funny as that sounds, it could have been really, really bad. And listen, it sucked. We dropped the underbelly. We had to pull out all the bad insulation that was in there, and we just had it replaced. And it was 25 degrees.
I was gonna say, so it was below freezing while we were replacing it. Mid-afternoon, dispersed the kids between the neighbors, and the two of us plus one of our neighbors. We did it. We got it done.
We did. So with that, we got it buttoned up. Granted, it's not perfect, and to be honest, we found some evidence that our previous repair job was not perfect. So we'll address that later. Things dry out and heat up. Not a big deal. But we got it in a position where everything is fully insulated and maybe better than before. But we got it stood up and we got everything done. And we actually were even able to make a makeshift, sort of wall to prevent wind from going under the camper. And I think
probably saved us for most of the week.
I'd say so. That north wind was brutal, and we have the camper facing.
And out of the trees. We were behind the trees.
Yeah,
now we're
right.
in the clear view.
So we have it facing, I would say, pretty north, right? So it was cutting the wind, and I think that helped us too. Well, anyway, so we have our little mishap with the water. We got it repaired, and so here we are, and. Maybe this should be a video on its own, but there was a time in 2017 where Bitcoin was like a really big thing, but it was like you were this prophet, and people don't typically believe prophets until they're dead. we were telling people like, hey, we made X amount of money on Bitcoin. Of course, it crashed and we quit making money, but I had a few of these machines left over. So one of the things about these machines is they put out, up to 5,000 BTU of heat per machine.
Yeah.
Well, we have like 8 space heaters. Well, guess what? They're all employed. We've got one in the well house. We've got 3 of them inside. We've got different ones spread out. We left a neighbor one. So I went and got one of these Bitcoin miners, and we put it in the pass-through. And it was, I bet it is right now, still running at 90 plus degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah. And it is negative. It's not negative right now.
Well, it's below freezing,
32.
for sure.
Which is negative in my book.
So, at any rate, we keep all the pipes thawed out. We've got better insulation than we had in the RV before. And so we're hanging in there. Honestly, the power went out Sunday. It was about 6 o'clock, right?
Saturday.
Was it Saturday?
I don't know. The days are all running together.
Yeah, I know. So the
Maybe it was Sunday.
The power goes out. Well, you have to understand, we'd had freezing rain. We'd had snow. We were not shocked, not whatsoever. And in fact, I'd let all the neighbors know, you guys need to prepare in the next 6 hours for the impending power outages. It just happens. This is one of the things we learned from living in South Louisiana. Heavy tree branches are going to take out power. And so sure enough, it was that night.
Then we got legitimate power outages.
It stayed out. It stayed out for a long time. And I would say between, I think it went down Sunday. So between then and now, well, let's say this morning, because the power did come back on this morning and it stayed on all day. But between then and Thursday morning, we might have had 8 to 10 hours of power. So that was hard on it was hard on the generator. Mm-hmm. We ran a lot of generator. It was hard on me. The temperatures got down to 1 here. So our thermometer here that we have told us that it got down to 1 degree Fahrenheit. So as the old man, I'm just constantly worried. if something goes wrong, everybody can freeze to death fairly quickly in an RV. So I didn't sleep much.
Either one of us slept a whole lot.
I didn't sleep much for at least 4 days. So it was a really hard week. But at the end of the day, we had the running water.
Mm-hmm. We rationed the water enough that the whole time we've had water.
Yeah.
And we've kept it warm because of the generators.
Well, I know what we didn't have. That was laundry.
Ooh.
All our laundry machines are in the shipping container. We'll show you pictures of that. But that was tough, right? I mean, we had done all of the clothes before this went down. We kind of saw it coming, so we made sure that we did that. But holy shit.
It's been an experience.
Yeah, and
It's been hard.
And my birthday was Monday. We were supposed to be out of town celebrating. We contacted friends like, hey, meet us in Nashville. Let's go have a good time.
We were supposed to be flying home on Monday.
Yeah, well, there was just no way. There was no way we could make that happen. Because we are in this RV until we're built. That's what it is. We have to protect that investment. And
yeah.
There was no way we could do that properly while being out of town.
Also, we couldn't leave my mom in the camper with 4 kids during snowpocalypse. So
it's true.
We did that for her.
Oh,
as much as we did it for ourselves.
It was hard as hell for us to make it through. And let's talk a little bit about the process, right? So Sunday's fine. We get through. We got propane. We filled up most of our propane tanks. So no big deal. We're running. Everything's warm. We're happy. Monday comes along. It's much colder.
Was it Monday that we woke up to the snow?
We woke up to snow, and that was the continued power outage. It was then that we realized that it wasn't just a limb down, right? We were part of rolling blackouts.
Yeah, and so it was 5 inches of snow, probably 6 here where we're at.
Yeah, I'd say right at.
So about 6 inches of snow, and just, it was so cold. It was so cold. It was beautiful.
Well, Monday night it was 6, and then Tuesday night it was 1. That's when we got to 1. And we've lived here for years. It's gotten, cold a couple of nights. It's never been anything like this.
It's still white all around us. It snowed another 4 inches today, 4 inches.
Yeah. Well, so let's walk through it, though, right? So here we are. Monday we're okay. I'm off work Monday. It's President's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday, I had already taken Tuesday off because we were supposed to still be in Nashville.
Well, we were supposed to be home and taking my mom to the airport and getting the kids back to school.
So I had Tuesday off, so I was able to really help out. But, by Wednesday when we woke up and it was still 3 degrees, we realized that there was an uphill battle. We weren't just going to turn the lights on. The lights were still out. There's no internet. I work remotely. It's just not happening. And, we could go on for days, but suffice to say, we have long-range antennas. The internet was out as far as LTE is concerned.
Well, and beyond that, I'm not being... Who cares about work whenever we can't keep the heat on for the kids? Yeah.
Let's just try to keep the kids alive is a pretty good approach.
Work is just a secondary thing. It's not true. I mean, work is what keeps us here, but this is insanity. It's been a different level of. It's like you're going to make it through, but there's a level of survival, and we have 4 kids, and they're very small, and they're tired of being in the camper.
So the ages, we have a 1, a 2, a 6, and a 7. So they're small. And we're in a camper. So they can't go hit the trampoline outside. They can't go run around. We're simply not equipped for it. And neither is the county. So I think that brings us up. It's a great segue to the next point. We live off of a rural route. The county road that leads to our neighborhood, of course, is paved. But we're not here in our neighborhood. And that's okay. I think it comes with gifts. It's also got some problems. But with that, we do have only one part of the neighborhood that's paved, and it's where this giant hill. The name of our street literally has a mountain in it. although it's by no means a mountain. not even close. But we've got a pretty steep hill in and out, and it's concrete. Well, it was covered in ice. And
Yeah.
I've got, a big 4x4 Land Cruiser, big knobby tires. There was no way that day that we'd get in or
Sunday,
out.
yeah.
we
Sunday we were not getting in and out.
It was no dice, and I think the same conditions on Monday. It wasn't really until it started snowing that we were able to traverse that hill. So I guess to get to the point, we got to a situation where our well was frozen.
Uh-huh.
The power was out and had been out. There were no signs of hope on the power grid. And from reading the news, there was certainly no hope. We would get it, like 30 minutes here and there, but that wouldn't help us. Whatever. We're on the generator, so we're safe. But we're kind of looking at the writing on the wall. So we had prepared food-wise, water-wise. We were safe, and we could have gone weeks.
Yeah.
And been okay. I don't think it would have been fun, but we'd have been okay. We we start to wonder. Okay, well, we had actually broken the exhaust pipe on the camper, right on the big built-in generator, the 6,000 watt. We couldn't run it. Carbon monoxide's a real thing, and that's not the way I'm going out.
That's our biggest downfall.
So our generators are running on propane as well. The gasoline, I don't know if it had been in there too long or what, but it wouldn't start on gas. So we were sharing propane, not just with E, but with the generators as well. So we got legitimately nervous that, hey, we know that this is going to go on for, a full week, if not more, until things start to thaw out. But we made it through a precip. We were actually able to help a lot of neighbors that had gotten in tight spots. We did everything we could. And we got through it. So, if you guys don't believe anything else we say, I'm in Central Texas. It's been 110 degrees here since I've lived here. This shit's
Here
real.
we are.
This is a warm place I live in. And it's look at the picture. It's the Arctic Circle right now. Be prepared, folks, for whatever you think is not going to happen. And look, don't go overboard. Just have some things ready. It does happen. But we're now, it's what, Thursday? Oh my God.
It's supposed to be 47 tomorrow.
It's got to be 25 right now. I'm freezing.
So my toes are so cold.
These are the wrong gloves, right? Like, these guys are great. I've got a bunch of their gloves, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm freezing to death.
I'm sure you can't really see us on the camera anymore.
Oh, yeah. No, we can see us. We got the light on.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
We can see us.
So the thing is, now we're in a position where we hope it thaws out. We're pretty sure our black tank, the nasty tank, has gotten to a place where it is no longer thawed out.
It's frozen.
And we've done a really good job, right? The Bitcoin miner
Everything
has done a great job of
Has
keeping
done a
it
great job.
live and going. But this morning, it looks like it may be frozen. And I even tried the Macerator pump, and there's
too
just
cold.
no dice.
We just haven't been above freezing long enough for anything to truly thaw, which is crazy. So we've had a solid week of sub-freezing temperatures. The whole infrastructure is just not, I think we are seriously better than everybody else because we've had all of our tanks heated and still we're struggling because it's just been so cold for so long.
Well, let's talk about the infrastructure for a second, because I think that's one of the things. Texas looks like the laughing stock right now, and I won't lie to you. There's some improvements that have to be made. And I think it's good, right? We'll go through this.
Yeah.
And things will improve. But from the national media, I see all of this stuff about, there was no weatherization, the leadership was wrong, this and that. And that's true. But I think there's a lot of different things to consider. We never.
This is
This is what is it? A 50-year event,
completely-
as it's been described.
this is completely unprecedented. There's nobody in recent times that has lived through this.
Not in Texas. So, again, we spent time in the Midwest, years in the Midwest, and we get it. We get low temperatures; they happen. Their lights don't go off.
Right.
So there's some lessons to be learned about, how to prepare for that stuff. And we think Texas could do a little bit better job. But at the end of the day, Texas produces more power internally than any other state. We've got a ton of infrastructure. It just needs to be a few more rules around it. Keep everybody safe. I know the first thing I did, and we look forward to showing some videos on this. I've always been a kind of depend on myself kind of guy, and I hope you guys are too, right? So if I can impart any wisdom on anybody, none of these utility companies, the government, the police, your neighbors, nobody owes you anything. If you want to keep yourself alive and you want to keep your kids alive, pretend as if they don't exist. So I think that's the next thing we did. I paid the invoice earlier today. We bought 40 solar panels. So I think that's going to be our next step is, even if we're not totally off grid,
Yeah.
we'll always enjoy a little bit of grid backup. It's been very reliable in the past. 5 days worth of
when
outage
you really
is no
need
fun.
it.
But we're not going to be in that position again. We won't. And we hope you guys won't be in that position either. It's
Nobody should be in that position.
I could go on my tangent, but I'm not. Suffice to say, plan for the worst, hope for the best. So with that, it's getting dark out here. I think it's probably time for us to go in. But
The kids are howling. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure they're all howling.
I can hear in the background. We've been through it this week. We fared a lot better than a lot of people, and God bless them. God bless the people that are out there working hard during this. This is not easy. Do your part. Help your neighbors. Be ready to help your neighbors, and that's it. Well, it's good to meet you guys. Wait, what do we do? What do we do? There's got to be
Not
some kind of
that.
exit.
I don't think we do that.
Ah,
I think that's offensive
what?
with all the things you just did.
Goodbye.